Hello everyone, this is Sijas from Coding with Sijas and welcome to a brand new video. This is the 11th video in the UFS series. If this is the first video in the series you're watching, you can click here to access the playlist from the starting. With that, you will know the journey of our development of UFI applications in detail. Do consider subscribing this channel for more content like this. Without any further delay, let's jump right now to today's session. Today, we will be learning about expression binding and custom formatters. Let's jump right now into the code. So you can see our code, which we were working till today. So I've moved the code from the previous session into the folder in the archive, which you can find in the link in the description. So let's make some new changes to our code. First thing, I'll go to my component.js and edit my model. So today I'm going to add some data and do an aggregation binding. So let me add an array called data, which will be containing some objects. So let me give f name as Muhammad, L name as Sijas, and age as 30, and score as 100, and that's it. Let's have 4 columns. Let me repeat it. So I'll add 3 of it and a half, 1 for 30, then John Doe, whose age is like 25 and have 50 as a score. So with this information, let's go and change our view. So we have a landing page which has a table, and we have a second view which has some data. So let's run our static page. So let me serve this module. I'll open a new instance of browser. I'll go to the web app, and I have my table here. So as you know, this table will be having static data. So you can go to the landing page and you see there is an employee table. So let me go to the employee table, and this has a static data. So let me just remove one of the column list item, and first name, last name, age, instead of email address, we do have something called score. So score will come here, refresh, and we should see the score. And we have to do an aggregation binding for the table. So we will be having something called items, which is pointing to our model. Our model name is nothing, default model. So we will directly bind to data. So I'll go to employee table. I'll give /data. And now I should have 2 rows where, it's just 3 rows. Basically, I have 3 rows because I have 3 rows in my component.js, and which has the data. But here we are showing static data. So what I do is, first thing is the f name. Next one is the L name. Then I have the age, and I have the score. So with this new binding, let me refresh, and I should get data based on the model. So you can see age 1, 25, 100, 30, and 50. Now we'll try something called an expression binding, where you want to change something based on the status. So for that, we have to first go to our SDK to find a control which supports colors, or basically some kind of color changes. So I'll be using something called object status. Let's see an example of object status. So this is the API reference for it, and let's see an example of the guideline. So I'll open an object status demo. Yeah, so I'll just show a simple object status. So this is the object status where we have different colors based on the data. So we want something similar. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll write some sort of logic to just show the object status. So for that, I'll change my control, the third control, as object status. And the first field we have to be looking into is, let me go to the constructor and see the property. And I have something called text, which we have. So I'll just save it and just come back and refresh. We have object status. There's no much difference here. That's because of the colors which we have to assign. So the property to assign color is something called state. So it supports different states. So by default, none is the state. So we don't have any states right now. So let's see an error. So let's see how does it look with error status. You can see it's in a red color. Instead of error, I can give warning, which will make it yellow. And I can give success, which will make it somewhat green. And I can make it information, which should make the colors a blue. So let's see how we can dynamically change it. So I have something called a state here. So I'm doing an expression binding. So the syntax for expression binding is something like this, equal to. Then I'll give the condition. So what's the condition? The score value, if it is greater than 50, then it should be success, and else it's a error. So this is my condition right now which I'm putting, which means that whenever I have value above 50, it's called 100, which is green, and anything below 50 or 50 or below it's called as 30. So I can make it equal to, by which I'll get, the 50 as green and 30 and 100. So adding more and more condition to this will make it tedious for maintaining it. So that's how, or that's when we go for something called formatter. So instead of we dealing with the conditions over here, we can, delegate these conditions into a function, and that function can decide what should be the value. So for that, all you need to do is you have to open the controller. So here we are dealing with an employee table, which is located in the second view. Sorry, is located in the landing view. So the landing view, we have to open landing view, landing page controller. So I'll give something called format score state. So this is my method, which takes one value, which is I state. So let's take I state, and now we can put a simple condition here. So switch. Maybe I'll put an if condition. If I state is greater than 50, we have to return one color. So I'll import the value state here. So we have something called value state sap/ui/4/value state. You can find that in the API reference. So you can just search value state and you should get it. So I'll import value state, and that's my value state. And if it is greater, I have to return success. So value state, the values are, you can see here. So I'll return value state dot success. So maybe I'll make it above 80, it should be success. So just return success. Else if the status it's already less than 80, but maybe less than greater than 60, then I'll return a different value state. So I'll return something called a warning, and anything below 60 is I'll return error. So this is my function. I'll simply format it. Yep. And I'll go back to my application and I'll refresh this. So you see here, there is no much change because we haven't adapted this function into our view. So let me go to the table and I'll change the conditions over here. So first thing, we need a path. So path is nothing but the value which we are passing to the function. So we are passing the score. Now we have to mention the formatter method. So formatter method is nothing but the dot notation / format score state. So I'll paste it. So with this, we should see our condition being set properly. So how do we know it works? So let me go to inspect element and I'll go to sources. I'll go to my controller, which is the landing page controller. So I will go to controller, landing page controller, and I'll put a debug point over here. I'll refresh this. You can see here, as soon as the refresh is completed, you get a hit at the line number 17 with I state value as 100. So anything above 100, you can just go to the next line. You see that it's above 80, so it returns success. The next time when it comes, you get a value of 30, so which is less than 60. So we go to the error, and you get another 80, which is again it's less than 60. It goes to error. So we'll just adjust the value to match the condition. So let me go to the component.js and I'll make the 30 as 61, which means I should get a warning color. So you see here we have a green. So you see here we have a green 100 and a warning 61 and an error of 50. So that's how we write the formatters. So how do I pass multiple values to a formatter? Pretty good question. So for that, we might need to adjust our method in the views. So let me go to the employee table and I have first name, last name. So I'll use something called name instead. So I have single name. I am not having multiple names. So I need to combine my X. So I'll remove here also. So with this change, you see there will be 3 columns: the name column, age, and score. I'll just remove the breakpoint. Perfect. I have name, age, and score. So if you notice, it's only showing the first name. So what will I do is I'll just write another formatter. I'll go to the landing page. I'll write a new formatter. Format name, which takes 2 inputs. It's sf name, which is the first name, s last name. So I'll call this L name, and we need to combine the text. Now, I'll put a debugger here. So when you're combining the names, you might need to combine it, directly by concatenating operator of plus, or you want to use a language translation where the placement is decided by the language itself. So for that, I'll go to i18n and text. So I'll go to i18n. I'll add a new i18n property. So I'll call it as maybe fname underscore or combine names, which will be taking a parameter which is 0th space 1, which means whatever is the first one passed to this combined names will be put here, and whatever is passed to second parameter will be put over here. So with this, we'll go to our landing page, controller, and write a small condition where we get an i18n reference. So i18n text equal to this dot get resource bundle, and we'll use the function. We'll go to our employee table. We are just binding the first name. So for that, we have to write something called parts, which is nothing but an array, and formatter, where it is pointing to the method directly. So what will be in parts? So parts will be an array of path. So one path is name, and second path is nothing but the L name. So let me refresh, and I should hit a debug point for the format name method which I have written. So I have the format name over here. I'll click here. Let's see the errors. We have an error. So it's saying that format name get resource bundle is not a function. So that's okay. So I have put a debug point there, and let's see how to get the resource bundle instance over there. So once we are here, we have hit a breakpoint. So I'll go to console, and I'll simply type this, which tells me what is the instance. So this is pointing to the controller. I'll just, okay, this is pointing to my controller. So I can write this dot get owner component dot get resource bundle. Sorry, not get owner component, it's get model. Get model of i18n. Again, this model is undefined. Okay, so we have to go to the longer version, which is this dot get owner component of get model of i18n or get resource bundle. So this is the longer version of it. We will be shortening it in the coming videos. So let's go to landing page controller and use this one to get the instance of the get resource bundle. Perfect. So once we get it, now we have to format the text. So I'll use something called s return value equal to i18n text dot get text, which will take two parameters. First parameter is i18n key, is combined names, and second parameter is nothing but an array of parameters, so which is fname comma sl name. So we have our fname and l name over here. So let me save it, and all you need to do is return this s value. So let me return it, save it. I'll go back to my application and refresh it. We'll be having a new set of code. So we have concatenated a value. Now we get Mohammed Sijaz completely, and I'll just release a breakpoint. And let's see how does it look finally. So you can see here now, so we have used a formatter function with multiple parameters. We used IE18 text, which is parameterized. Then we combine both text into one single text and returned it. So that's how a formatter looks. So I hope now you're clear with how to use a formatter and how to use expression binding in some scenarios where you have, just a ternary operator is a yes or no question. So that time it is good to use an expression binding, whereas you have multiple choices to be made. In that case, it will be better to use a formatter function. But personally, I always prefer formatter function than the expression binding because of the testability. So when you write a function, you can use a unit test case to verify the working principle of it. So that way you can have a better coverage. So with this, I think we can conclude for today. If you haven't watched any other videos from the series, you know where to find the links, and also consider subscribing this channel. Thank you guys. See you in another video.